Well, hello and welcome back to the Rules of Nerdquisition. This is episode 12, Father's Day edition. And I'm your host, Transgression, and I am joined as always by my number one, Gilbert. And also today we have a very special guest. We are grateful for you stopping by, sir. Christopher Hunter, son of Jeffrey Hunter, the original captain of the Enterprise, Captain Pike. We're super excited to have you here. Thank you so much for stopping
Me
by.
too. I can't do that. Wait a minute. There you go.
Okay.
Something.
You got to do the
Yeah. Oh,
like
you gotta.
They
You
got
gotta
it.
I need
Yeah.
my modeling glue. There you go. I need my modeling glue to do that.
the actress who played T'Pau in A Mock Time was famously known for having to do that. She had to push her fingers apart before she lifted them up.
Oh yeah. That's
No,
actually it, what is it? It is real. It's a Hebrew thing that Leonard invented.
I'm not real sure.
It comes from
I'm not
it comes
sure.
from Judaism, I think,
Oh,
because
I'm
I
gonna
think
have to look
Leonard
that
invented.
up. I'm gonna have
Yeah.
to look that up after the show
Yeah.
That'd be an
that's something
interesting
that's
fact to look
really
Well,
into.
seriously,
interesting. Because
I think
yeah.
Leonard, he's Jewish, and I think it's comes from a Judaism thing that they did or something.
Oh, that is pretty cool.
Yeah,
Well, we're
That's pretty
super
cool.
excited to get you on here and also, talk about your dad. Uh,
sure.
we've we were talking kind of in pre-show a little bit for our audience listening about a cool little rivalry going on with
No, there's no rivalry. We don't really know. Adam Nimoy. See, I found out about Star Trek and became a Trekker 3 months. It was in October '64, and they shot it around Christmas '64. So it was 3 months where my dad, Jeffrey Hunter, showed me a script called The Cage, and I asked him what he was up to, and he said, "Well, I'm going to be captain of a starship. That's 200 people, Christopher." And it's like there was a show that's popular at the time called Wagon Train, and he says it's going to be like Wagon Train, but to the stars. And I go, awesome, Dad. And I actually read the script, started reading it. And I said, oh, I'm into this. This is because I really am a big sci-fi freak. And I went, Dad, this is going to be awesome. And I'm very excited. So that's when I became a trigger. I don't know when Adam found out about Star Trek. He's like he's told my friend he wants me to start a lawsuit about it so it can up the publicity for his book. you know,
So tell
I
me
thought that was pretty
something I
funny.
noticed. Something I noticed. You used the term Trekker. I know back in the '80s, '70s, and '80s when I started to become a fan, there was some debate over is it Trekkie or Trekker. Most Trek fans chose to go with Trekker, so it seems like
Yeah.
you're kind of in that camp.
Yes. Yeah. I don't like Trekkie. I like Trekker.
I
That's
Oh,
agree.
see, I go both ways.
yeah. I don't really care what you call it. It's a Trekkie. Somebody like Star Trek.
Yeah, and interestingly
Yeah.
enough, this was your dad. We're talking about the Menagerie today, which is the only two-part episode of the
Right.
original series.
Right.
Your dad didn't
Mhm.
actually come back to portray the wounded version of Pike because he was unavailable at that
Oh,
time.
Sean Kenny. Yeah.
And a lot of the episode itself was just reused footage from the cage. But I do think with the backstory and giving kind of your dad the opportunity to finalize the cage itself makes the cage a better episode. It brought it full circle and really kind of
Yeah, give
made the
it a
original
nice,
pilot.
good conclusion to it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I told Sean Kenny that if I had $5 for every time I had to tell people it wasn't Dad in the wheelchair, I'd be a rich guy. But he's a really good guy, by the way. I know Sean. So
That's good. That's good to hear
Oh,
that.
that's
Yeah.
awesome.
He didn't get to do a
'Cause-
whole lot other than just, sit there and kind of
but
look
he was what they
out of
call
it.
a utility guy. Whenever they needed somebody to do something weird or special, they call on Sean. So you know,
Hey,
Yeah.
I guess
And
it always great to be available like that.
right. And speaking of availability, another interesting thing about this episode is the reason that they did this, that Roddenberry wrote this episode, is because of the special effects that they needed to make for each episode. They were falling further and further behind in production schedule. So that's why he wrote this quick script
right,
and they were able to make it a two-parter and
right.
then complete other episodes and get back on track and get back on schedule because they had all the footage already. And it actually aired before The Cage ever aired on public TV.
Mhm.
Yeah, because actually my very first time of seeing Captain Pike is in the Menagerie, and then
Right.
later on,
And then the cage. Yeah, right.
and
No,
then
you're
seeing
right.
the cage. Yeah.
Have you ever watched South Park?
Oh,
You
of
see
course.
that
Yes, I have.
You see they turned Jeff Bezos into a Talosian? You see that? No, I mean
Yeah.
the butt head and the whole 9 yards, and he's telepathic. They turned him. That was a real. I felt it was a real tribute because they always have this teacher going around in the wheelchair. I mean, Dad's wheelchair. You know what I mean? And with the
Yeah.
beeping
Mhm.
and all that crap. But they really are into the cage on South Park there, and so they made Jeff Bezos into a Talosian.
That's awesome. That's
Oh
awesome.
yeah, I do remember that, and I remember I remember the having the guy with the wheelchair there with the beep beep and all that.
Yeah, yeah.
That was hilarious. I do remember that.
Yeah, and it helped me.
Uh,
This is, I don't, maybe it was that way for other fans too. I know I was fairly young. I was probably only, 7 or 8 years old at the time. But it made me want to know more about the previous captains of the Enterprise, like because we hadn't seen them yet. And I thought that was really cool too. So maybe other fans thought the same way, which kind of got them to finally air the episode of the original The
I'm
Cage.
glad they finally brought
yeah.
April and they fleshed him out in
Yep.
Yeah.
Strange New Worlds. They
Strange New
finally
Worlds.
they brought him back because he was he was in the cartoon, but
Yep.
but
Mhm.
you know he was not, he was only in books. So I thought that was really pretty neat. They found Admiral April, that was cool.
Yeah,
What do you,
because quite honestly, through like most everybody else, I was throughout the years of seeing here and now again of Captain Pike, and unless you were actual like fan or read the books and
Right,
saw
yeah,
the cartoons and everything like that,
right.
you want to see more of Captain Pike. And so now with Strange New Worlds came out, I was like, I'm in heaven now. Because
CBS
yes,
sent me down to Comic-Con to give Anson a pep talk, Anson Mount. And Anson's such a good guy, and he's very dedicated to that role. It was a big honor for him to do it. And he had me stand up in front of 6,000 people at Comic-Con and say, "This is Chris Hunter," and he gave me his big AOK, and I was really kind of, because the light was on me, but yeah, I sent him and said, "Anson, you're just going to be the best," and Dad, I always have this little picture of Jeff Hunter, and it says Captain Pike approved, and if I like somebody's post, I'll put it on there. You know what I mean?
oh yeah,
Anyway,
I
that is
remember getting
awesome.
chills. I remember getting chills watching Discovery when he showed up the first time, when the Enterprise shows up and
right.
And you
it's
see
like, this is Captain
Captain
Pike. It's
Pike.
like,
I was like,
oh man.
John Eaves, the
yes.
guy who designed the ship, told me, he said, "Chris, I was so dedicated to trying not to change it too much, but I had to make it modern." He's a brilliant Star Trek designer, and he designed the Shenzhou and a bunch of other ships. But he told me that he tried to stay with the original ship, with the little points on the nacelles and all that stuff.
I think it's one of my favorite updated versions. Like, I don't dislike the one from the reboot movies or,
Mhm.
the three movies. I
Yeah,
just,
right.
I don't know. But this one, to me, when it pulled up in front of the Discovery, it felt like the Enterprise. I was
Yeah,
looking
exactly.
at
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Enterprise.
That's John. That's John, the great John Eaves. Yeah.
That's fantastic. Yeah, that's a cool ship. I have to build that model. I'm working on my
I
Enterprise
have
A
the
right now.
model. They made the model. Polar Lights made the original Enterprise model. You can make it two ways or three. I forgot, or two ways. I think Shatner's ship or Dad's ship. So we're gonna build. It's 3 feet long. It's really cool.
Oh,
So
Oh
nice.
me
wow.
and my girlfriend are gonna build that. My
Oh,
JoJo.
that's
I have a partner. My girlfriend is also my model builder partner. So anyway.
That is
couldn't ask
awesome.
for
Because
anything more.
I'm a big model guy. I'm a big model freak. So
Yeah, I do the
Oh,
same thing.
same here. Yeah, because well, for me, it's more of doing like a digital design and 3D printing my models
yeah.
out.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, that's awesome.
Oh yeah, and so I've got a couple designs of Enterprise. One definitely a Shatner design, and I haven't found one of Strange New World ones yet, but
Yeah, sure.
I'm looking for it.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Pike's the Enterprise. I don't know how he got that kitchen that's like, 800 square feet, but I'm not gonna question
Hey,
it.
well, it's be nice to be the king.
Yeah, I'll say. I love how
Absolutely.
the rooms are like Las Vegas. You know what I mean? So funny.
Well, they had to give him a leg up on Kirk. What was the one
Oh yeah, I
episode
know.
with
I
the
don't think Kirk
meatloaf?
ever had a kitchen though, did he?
No, he had a cook, and it was
No,
one episode where he was talking about, I know we're having meatloaf for Christmas dinner, or for Thanksgiving, but I want it to look like turkey.
Have you guys ever been to Star Trek Ticonderoga, Star Trek tours? You ever heard
no,
of
I
it?
haven't.
Oh, have you heard of it? It's the spiritual heart of Star Trek. A guy named James Calling in Ticonderoga actually replicated the Enterprise. I mean, down to the millimeter. And if you go in there, you go to the bridge, it is the bridge. You know what I mean? I mean, they went through, it took them years just to get it exactly right. William Shatner comes all the time. A lot of Star Trek people come all the time. But every room, the medical bay, all that's the hallways are exactly the Enterprise. So you can walk around in it and really
Oh,
get
wow.
a sense of what it was like shooting that thing in Desilu.
That's awesome.
I
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Star Trek tours in New York. Yeah.
I always wanted to
I'm
visit. They used to have the Star Trek experience in Vegas, but
Right. I was there. I went to
they-
that thing.
they've since taken that down, though, right? They don't do that
Oh
anymore.
yeah, that was way back in the day. Way
Yeah,
back
I
in
think
the, oh, and they did a whole thing where there was an accident and the meteor hit or something, and you run around and all these people would run in and you'd have to, it was cute though. I liked it.
yeah, and all the people that were in it were like in character, because my friend who went came back, said I was in the place and this Ferengi started to harass me, and then a Klingon came over and asked, "Do you need me to kill him for you?"
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, that's funny.
well,
Yeah,
we
that
may
would
have
be
to
cool.
we may have to make that a road trip one day, Gretchen. Do that.
Yeah, yes, definitely.
Oh
I'd
yeah, you
love it.
got to go see it. It's every Trekker. It should be a must if you're a Trekker to make a pilgrimage there. I swear to God. And they have a whole bunch of models there. My friend Mark Myers is a genius Star Trek model builder. He's got a bunch of stuff hanging, but they also have a lot of stuff from the cage, and like the uniforms and the original props, which is really pretty cool.
Oh yeah. They don't they have the original model of the Enterprise hanging in the Smithsonian, don't they?
Yes, they
And that,
do. That is the cage. That's that one. There's a shot of it outside on the street near
Mhm.
Desilu, right?
Yeah.
And they redid it. They updated it, but that was a footer. The
So
KJ. Yeah.
did you get to go to the studio while your dad was filming?
No,
No?
no. I didn't go to, and then he didn't do it. So, but they shuttered it. It's interesting because there's only like, I think, what was it, 4 sets they used or 5 sets,
Mhm.
and it was a small studio. I mean, Desilu, if you've been to Desilu, it's, but Paramount. It's in I live in Hollywood, so we go by there all the time. But I never got to see it in person. No. I was pretty young. I was only 12. So.
Oh yeah, I can see that.
Oh, so
I'm kind of a bad trekker when it comes to like going to these things. I've only been to one Star Trek conference in my life. I've
Mhm.
only met one Star Trek actor, which was George Takei. But GalaxyCon's coming to Columbus, Ohio, which is where I live this December, and he's going to be back. So I'm going to go and see if I can
Oh, that sounds.
say, hey, I met you once. I was only 12, but you won't remember. But
I met
it'd be
Shatner and Leonard and all those guys. I spent, when Shatner came to Ticonderoga, I lectured there, so I got to talk to him a little bit.
that's
And
awesome.
he's a good, and drink
that's
his
pretty cool.
bourbon. He's got bourbon. Did you know about this? His Shatner's
No.
bourbon you can buy
Oh,
Star Trek bourbon. Yeah, that's really
I'm
pretty
definitely
good.
gonna have to try that.
Oh sure. Oh yeah,
I'm
it's
going to
really
have to
pretty
try
good.
that. Yes.
That's a dangerous thing because I'm a bourbon girl. I like bourbon.
Well,
So
he's got some good bourbon. He really does.
so
That is cool.
because your dad was in Trek, I mean, I'm assuming you're a Trekker. You watch and follow all the different series and stuff like that. You've
Yeah.
been with it. Have any particular series that's your favorite?
Oh yeah, Strange New World, sure.
Strange New Worlds. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm a big
yeah.
fan of that one.
But
it's
then again,
Oh
I'm
yeah.
prejudiced.
Of course, but
Discovery's okay, but I mean, I really like Strange New Worlds. Also, I like the cartoon ones too. So
yeah, we're going to be covering
X and all
those.
that
Oh yeah,
stuff.
we definitely gonna be covering those from the original one, the Prodigy, and even Lower Decks.
Yeah,
I
Yeah.
also like a Star Trek that one Vic Mignogna did, which is on YouTube. You know how he made, and then they told him he couldn't do it anymore. That was a great one. Did you ever see that? It was on YouTube. It's still there probably. It's
I'll
called
have to
Star
look
Trek.
that up.
I'm gonna have to
Yeah,
look that one up too. Yeah.
they made it in Georgia, but it's really good. I mean,
I think I have
that's
seen that, come to think
it's
of it.
so accurate. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like really high production value for being
Oh,
basically
it's
an amateur
extremely.
production.
Hey,
I like when anybody makes
I,
the little fan films. I love that stuff. I eat that up. I've been in a couple, and I love somebody going out and spending $100 and making a fan film. You can only make them like, what is it, 15-minute limit or something like that, and they cut out a lot of them. They got mad, or I don't know who did, who owns it now, but I love stuff when they make their own films.
Oh yeah, I think
oh,
the
yeah,
first
because
one I saw, it was old, but was Troopers, which was stormtroopers set to like the cop show
Uh,
with the Bad Boys theme and stuff, and
yeah,
like they go through the
yeah,
whole interaction with Luke's aunt and uncle and shows when they kill him and stuff. It's like it was a high production, and that was back when it took like 4 days to download it when the
yeah.
technology
yeah,
was so
Oh
some
bad.
of
yeah,
those. Yeah,
modem and a modem, sure.
yeah, all the fan stuff. I do enjoy those as well because I mean, it also allows you kind of to see see stuff in a different perspective, and just like how
Yeah,
the
exactly.
like
Sure.
with the
It's new
troopers,
writers. Yeah, sure.
yeah,
Absolutely.
There's so much
and then
creativity
also
in
and
the fan
that's
base.
also a great way to spark somebody's career
Yeah, exactly.
because
Yeah. Or just get more
yeah,
fans into that property. Maybe they didn't watch that particular series or something and they see this fan film on YouTube and they're like, that's cool. And then like, I want to go see the real, go watch the actual show and
yeah.
get into it. And boom, you got
Yeah.
a new fan.
And so yeah, I always love that stuff, and I'm always been partial to the ones that are the funny ones,
Mhm.
like the troopers.
Right.
Like I will always love that one, just
It's
simply because it mixes something with a real life into
Yeah.
that and makes it into something that is just
Yeah,
absolutely
exactly.
funny.
and it fits seamlessly into the Star Wars mythology too, because it could have happened that way. You know?
Sure.
Yeah,
That's what I like about Star Trek is that Gene made it so it should always be going. It should always, boldly go, man. Don't you know what I mean? Just go where you need to go. And I love anybody coming with creative ideas of what to do. I really do. Because who's to say? Who's to say which is right and which is wrong? That's what I love about Star Trek. You got
yeah,
to
and
follow
then
some rules, but I mean, create new stuff, man. I hope Star Trek goes forever. I do.
Oh, absolutely.
oh
I hope
yeah,
it goes
and,
forever.
It's
And
like Star Wars. Have you guys seen the new Acolyte stuff on
I've seen the first two,
Disney?
not the newest one yet.
Yeah, that's all I saw. But I think it's awesome they're doing that. It can go
mm-hmm.
forever. You know what
Oh
I
yeah,
mean?
Oh yeah.
because
That
I mean,
Acolyte is awesome, man. And the
oh yeah, because
Mandalorian, that John Favreau
Mandalorian's
stuff.
great.
I mean, that was just awesome. I'm sorry, Carl Weathers died because I really liked him,
I know.
that was terrible. But I love Mandalorian. I love how they keep going. You know what I
oh yeah,
mean? Don't
just
stop.
finding just different stories from different perspectives
Exactly.
that just
It's a
and
universe.
just in like characters you would never even think that would be
Right.
just interesting
Exactly.
like that.
I
Exactly.
haven't looked into it too much. I mean, so with the ending of Discovery recently,
Mhm.
Strange New Worlds is filming, producing
Right.
season 3. Is
Right.
that and with the end of is it Lower Decks is coming to an end?
Who?
Yes.
They just canceled the animated one, Lower Decks.
Oh yeah, that is.
Yes. Mm.
Do we know what future properties? Do they have anything on the slate
Oh, I don't
beyond?
know. Oh, they wouldn't tell me. No, I don't. I don't. That's
No,
probably
there's just like a online push from fans of a spin-off for Picard.
yeah.
Um, other than that, that's all I know of.
Well, you
Oh
mean
yeah,
the
But
show
that's right.
Picard? You mean
Yeah,
the series Picard? That's good too.
Yes.
But I
Mhm.
like Jerry Ryan a lot. So I mean, yeah.
yeah, that's what they're talking about. There's a
I
big
think it's
fan push to do a
he's
show with
like
her.
he reminds me of
Yeah.
Biden. Patrick. Sorry, but he's getting a little longer. But that's okay. That's fine. I love that character who's the drug addict lady. Who Picard, what's her face?
Oh,
What's her name? She's so good.
I remember her
She's
name.
so great. She plays this alcohol lady.
Rafi.
Yeah,
Rafi.
Rafi. God, I
knew it
love
started with
Rafi.
an R.
Yeah, well, she's so cool, man.
And they did leave it pretty open. I mean, sorry those listening for spoilers, but Picard is over already. At the end, they left it
Oh yeah,
open with
sure. I
Seven
don't
as
know if they
captain
could
of the
do it.
Enterprise, but you got
Yeah.
Seven as captain of the Enterprise, and then they also did that
Yep.
kind of cliffhanger after cutscene with Picard's son and Q. So,
I love
which
Q.
John
Q
Delancey's
was
Oh
amazing.
John
yeah.
Delancey. He was in the fan films. He was in one of those fan film things. He put himself in, but not as Q, as somebody else. But I love Q, man.
Yeah, John
Q's my
Delancey's
favorite
fantastic.
guy.
Oh yeah.
He's my, I want a Q friend, but who likes me. Sure, Chris, you can be, Anyway, you can
You
have your
just
own series. Oh, really? Yeah.
Hey, thanks.
A lot of people, I got to tell you guys, a lot of fans wanted me to go on Strange New Worlds. And I said, well, I'm a lot older than Hanson is, man. You understand? So that, well, maybe they could be an uncle or something. And I went, sure. Okay, you write in. And I told him, you write in to the guys over there, Paramount, and write into Rod Roddenberry. And you tell him this stuff,
I think it's safe to say the two nerds on this show approve of that message. We would love to
So,
see that. That
Yeah,
would be
no,
awesome.
a lot
definitely
of
would love it.
people wanted to start a letter writing campaign. I don't know what I would do on there, but I mean, I guess I'll be as like, Demented uncle or something, you know what I mean? But be fun to do it.
Anything just to
Really,
have you
just
there. I
like
mean,
just,
you're
just like the wise uncle that would just give like the sage advice.
Exactly, wise uncle. There you go. Wise
Yeah, I
uncle.
could definitely see that.
Yeah,
absolutely. You're Star Trek alumni. We need to make this happen. If anyone's
yeah.
listening, Paramount. Hello.
I still think I'm the first Trekker. Me and Adam Nimoy, boy. Okay, Adam, put up or shut up. When did you become a Trekker?
Well, we're gonna go ahead.
Did.
We're going to agree with you by default, unless Adam,
No,
if you want to
I
come
don't
on
know
here and
if
defend
he
your
did.
position.
Adam's a good guy. You know who I'm real good friends with too is Chris Doohan. James Doohan's son. They're really good people. Now, Chris was in that series, the fan film that Star Trek Continues.
Awesome.
Oh,
That's cool.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Yeah, he's a very awesome guy. Very good friends with him on Facebook.
So did you ever do any of like the tour, like the conference or the Star Trek conference circuit?
No,
Did you ever like
well,
go around and talk
but
to fans?
I did go down to Comic-Con where Tig Notaro narrated that big, huge Strange New Worlds cast or Discovery.
Okay.
Discovery of Strange New World. But everybody from Discovery and in front of 6,000 people, I went to that one.
Nice.
And then that's when he had me stand up and everything. I got really embarrassed, but no, but I have lectured though. Well, I lectured a couple of times at Ticonderoga for what they call Trek what is it? Trekonderoga? I don't know, something like that. And where they have a big, hoo-ha festival over the weekend, and people come and bring all their Star Trek stuff and sell it. It's like a flea market and everything for Star Trek. And they showed the cage, and then I explained, what happened, around the cage, and how Gene had to go to Lucille Ball, and get money. How also too, I will say this: you guys ever noticed the reason the cage bridge, for example, right? It's pretty black and white. There's
It's not a lot of color.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen the movie Trekkies? My friend Gabe Corner. It's
Mhm.
about this guy. I know Gabe
Yeah.
real well, and he calls him the job. When they came out with the second pilot, right? With Sally Kellerman and all those guys. You notice how the buttons became candy colored?
Yep.
Do you know why?
Yeah.
Do you know why? Why?
Mm-mm.
Oh, why?
I don't know why.
Because NBC owned, I'm sorry, RCA owned NBC, right? And they wanted to sell color television sets. So what
Ah.
they did was put a
They
big
made
RCA color TV in Pike's cabin.
make so
And
much color
you're
that
watching,
bam.
well, it's that old box, in the year 2023 or whatever it was.
Yeah, that would look very
It's
futuristic.
that old box, and it's the candy what Gabe calls the Jolly Rancher buttons. That's why they're so colorful. Oh, and
Yeah.
then if you notice also in the cage, the uniforms are just black pants and a shirt. Then here comes Grace Lee Whitney, right? And she had some legs. She went up to Gene and goes, forget those uniforms. I want to show off my legs. And she designed the yeoman outfits, the sexy ones.
Oh, that's interesting. I did not know that.
Wow.
Oh yeah, Grace Lee did that
Okay.
with her.
This is the kind of
hair.
insider information that I crave.
Yeah, that's with that thatched hair of hers. Try to do that hairdo.
Yeah, right. Let's see here. What was I looking at? I'm just writing down some stuff in notes here. But yeah, it's almost interesting. But I didn't know about the candy colored buttons because if you look at the cage bridge, it's more militaristic, I think, looking.
It's very militaristic.
And that was something that Roddenberry
but
didn't like a whole lot.
You got to understand when Dad did this, no one knew what the hell was going on. I mean, you know how the Talosians' brains, the veins pop like that.
They kind
You
of
know
pulsate.
why?
Yeah.
Because Robert Justin, the producer, had an air pump that he had to kneel under the camera view and pump their brains. The producer.
Wow.
Yeah, that's how
That
they
is
did it.
interesting.
There wasn't any CGI, guys. It was 1964, so everything was by hand. And Dad did the best. A lot of people always do search aware, but he didn't know. I mean, no one knew anything. All Star Trek was in Gene's head. It was all in Gene's head. Gene knew. But Gene is a genius, you know what I mean? To think all that stuff up. Can you imagine what it was? I would have been a fly on the wall when he went to Lucy and went, no. They don't like it because it's too cerebral. But we know, you know why they didn't sell? Because they thought Spock was too satanic. And people in Missouri and Mississippi would freak out.
I could see
and,
that.
And it was too intellectual, it was too cerebral, it was too and he went to Lucy, and you know what Lucy thought it was? Star Trek was? She thought it was a show about young actresses coming to Hollywood trying to make it as movie stars. I swear to God.
That's a whole nother kind of Star Trek.
No, that's Star Trek. She thought that there are girls tricking to be a star in Hollywood. And she goes, no.
I will say,
I suppose, I mean, if you thought if you didn't have a sci-fi mind like that, I suppose that makes sense.
No one knew anything. None of these guys knew. You had great producers like Justman and Herb Solow and all these guys who really, that's why it was able to finally make a pie. But God bless Lucille Ball, because without her, it would never have flown. It would have never been in a series.
And even then, once William Shatner took over, and they only got 2.5, barely 3 seasons, because again, it made people think too much, and people didn't want to think when they were watching these shows. They just wanted to have a fantasy adventure.
And enjoy.
Sci-fi, you have to think, man. Yeah, I mean, sci-fi, you got to use your imagination.
Because had Encounter at Farpoint, the very first episode of Star Trek Next Generation, aired in that time frame, they wouldn't have made it either. Because it's a classically bad episode. It's horrible.
I love Next Generation.
I love this. I love the series, but Encounter at Farpoint it's a rough one.
Yeah.
John John Delancey aside, he's amazing.
Yeah,
But-
he always.
Oh yeah, 'cause John Delancey always nails it.
But that's just my nerdy opinion. But I don't think it would have made it if they'd have released it back in 66, 67. I don't think that Next Generation would have made it.
I'm
No,
sorry they're
I don't think
picking
it would
up
have either.
Low Decks. I really am, because it's funny.
Yep.
You
Oh
know,
yeah, I
love the
definitely
voices.
enjoy that.
Yeah.
I've got a friend who's doing a big petition push to try and get that renewed. Because I know after the next
Oh,
season,
really? Yeah.
that's the end of it.
Be
But
good.
a lot of people are really kind of upset about that.
Oh,
You know,
sure.
But
Sure.
anytime your favorite property gets canceled, it's time
Yeah,
to hit
you're
the
always going to
warpath.
get upset about it. Yeah,
Sure. Absolutely.
but this was one of the few times where it actually shows Star Trek in a funny light as to like,
Exactly.
this is what could happen in alien encounter. This is what could happen here. This is what could happen, and just say, hey, yeah, we've seen what could happen, with things get out of hand.
Exactly.
But let's just say, what if this happens?
Right.
Yeah, one of my
Yeah.
I always felt, Tribbles is funny, but my
Yes.
my favorite, one of my favorite is where they go down to that planet and they see a rabbit, and then the Pleasure Planet, and then Finnegan shows up.
Shore Leave.
Right.
That's the name of the
Yeah.
episode.
And
Shore Leave.
Shatner goes, "What did I always want to do? Kick his butt." You know what I mean? I love that episode. I love stuff like that because he realized that he always just wanted to pound this guy, and so but I love TOS. I still do. I still watch TOS. I like the new ones, though. I really like Stranger Worlds.
Oh yeah, Strange New Worlds is
And I
awesome. I
think
can't
he
wait for
would.
season
I
3.
just want to say too, I thought Bruce Greenwood did a great job as Pike.
Yep.
I think Anson's did a great job as Pike. I really do. Bruce was different than Dad, but he understood Pike. Pike's a serious freaking guy, man. And
Yep.
he was, Dad was so broken. Dad wanted to be a Orion slave trader, in his fantasy. That's why he goes to that. They have him go to the Orion planet and all. But he was a very serious captain. And a lot of people more like Shatner's emotion.
Yeah, Pike is
No.
a lot less cowboy than Kirk ever was.
Yeah,
Right.
but it was the first episode. It was the first one. No one knew anything except Gene. Gene knew it.
Except Gene.
Yeah, except Gene knew, he saw how
Gene
everything he
had
wanted
a
to play
vision
out.
that didn't quit, right?
Yeah, and I
And
think
now-
Anson's
really
really
believe-
filling in the backstory for Pike and giving him fleshing out that character.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Oh,
Same-
yeah.
You
same
actually
thing.
see in that you actually see the accident that put
Yep.
him in the freaking wheelchair. You see him dragging those cadets. So I thought that was pretty cool.
And they even the nod to just him being a rider, his love of horses in the very opening scene of the first episode. He's on the
Yeah.
horse when April comes down and
Right.
talks to
exactly.
him. And
Yeah. Anyway, guys, I hate to say this. I got to wind it up because.
Oh yeah, it's about time for you to dip out. Yeah.
Any other now? Is there something you always wanted to ask about Pike or Jeff Hunter or anything that you were afraid to? Go out and ask.
afraid to ask. I mean,
No, I'm kidding. But
I can't think of anything. I mean, I'm aware of his filmography and stuff. And one thing I think is really cool is that he got to star with John Wayne in The Searchers.
oh, and the Searcher, sure.
I thought that was very
a
cool.
big
Yeah.
one of the three. In fact, I had a long talk with Steven Spielberg about it. Believe it or not, at this event that I was shooting photos at, and Spielberg told me that was a huge influence on Star Wars. And they did Star Wars dedicated one scene where they burned up Luke and Luke's aunt and uncle. They burned the cabin. Well, that was right out of The Searchers. And not only that, the vistas and all that stuff is right out of The Searchers. The Searchers, Star Wars is based on 3 movies. The Searchers, the Flash Gordon episodes,
And Hidden Fortress, which is a
Fortress.
Japanese movie.
and The Fortress, a Japanese movie.
Yep.
Spielberg's a really cool guy, by the way. He spent a half hour with me telling me all this stuff. He did.
Hey, you spent a half
That is
hour with
cool.
us, and we think that's fantastic.
that's
We're-
fine.
Said that is awesome.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
I mean, we
Spielberg was awesome. Man. He's so smart. This dude, he just rattled all this stuff off, and I went, "Wow, this guy really, he's a
that's
brain."
another creative mind that's on a whole different
Yeah,
level.
but he was so cool. He
Yeah,
goes, I know your dad is. I know your mom. You know, my mom was an actress too. She just died,
Mhm.
but Barbara Rush. She made two
Right.
great sci-fi. She made When Worlds Collide, and have you ever seen that? When Earth plumbs in, and then It Came from Outer Space, written by Ray Bradbury.
Two of my dad's favorite
yeah.
movies.
In fact, Sven Gulli did a whole show on it, and he sang a song about her scream. It was really funny.
Well, that's great. Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
Well,
awesome.
again, thank you for coming
But
on the
I
show. I
definitely,
Anyway,
think it's
it's great to
awesome.
yeah,
thank you
definitely
for
appreciate
having
you.
me. Thank you for having me, and
Absolutely.
live long and prosper. Okay, I can't even wait. There you go.
Live long and prosper.
Live long and
Live long and
prosper.
prosper.
Okay, I'll see you guys later.
Take
All right,
care.
take care.
How do I do this? Okay, are you going to cut me out here? Or do I? What do I
can
do?
I could probably do that here.
Yeah.
I can't believe I'm about to boot Jeffrey Hunter's son,
Yeah, you're
Chris
about to
Hunter.
boot me. That's okay.
But have a great day and thanks for
You
coming.
too. Thank you guys
Hey,
so much. Thank you.
I do appreciate it. Definitely do appreciate it. Jeffrey Hunter's son, Christopher Hunter. How about that?
That was
That was
fantastic.
awesome.
And no Zoom, I don't want to report him. That was cool. Yes. So, to anyone listening, yeah, but that's our first real Star Trek cred right there.
Whew, we just got
Son of
nerd
Jeffrey.
cred. We just
Yeah, I
got some
mean,
serious nerd cred just then.
I'm an outgoing, extroverted kind of person, but I won't lie. I was a little starstruck and a little
That's a
jittery there. And just like, wow.
little fangirling going on.
I was fangirling. Yeah, that was very cool. And he's a model builder and a lifelong trekker, and his girlfriend builds
I
models with
just
him. Like,
like I talked to him for
come on.
about maybe about 5-10 minutes, day before we're recording this, and just the coolest dude. Just out there, he was just the coolest dude.
Oh
And
yeah,
just
he
now,
seems very cool.
and just now, just in just little, this 30-minute interaction, sold. He's cool.
Hey,
Sold. He's the coolest dude. He's one of the
props
coolest
to
dudes I've ever met.
props to number one for getting this done. This is all him. So yeah, and it was good an episode to have him on too, because like I mentioned at the beginning, it was a lot of reused footage. We didn't have to really break down the episode. If you want to know how the cage, the breakdown of the cage, you can go back and watch the very first episode of the Rules of Nerdquisition, because that's the very first episode that we did. The only difference here in this episode would be that they have the additional footage where Spock basically commandeers the Enterprise,
Yeah. He
kidnaps Pike to take him back to
take him
Talos
back to
4,
Talos 4, and then
which is the only
they
remaining death penalty on the Federation in the Federation books. And so
right,
they
and
have
then
like a
we find out that one of the guys there, he's just an illusion.
it's just an illusion. Yeah.
And it's like, wait a minute, hold up, wait, hold up.
Yeah, so the Telosians, it was kind of like Spock working with the Telosians to get him back. Really just to, like we said before, to give Pike that closure.
Yeah,
To
because
have
we
him
all
go
knew.
back to his planet and live the rest of his life in peace and not just be stuck in that wheelchair, which, one beep for yes, two beeps for no kind of thing.
That, yeah, no, we can't have that for Pike.
Can't have that for Pike.
Especially if he knows where he can go and he can still have two legs and talk. Yeah, no.
It would have been really interesting to see where Jeffrey Hunter could have taken the role of Pike had they not gotten, the thumbs down
Yeah.
for the original pilot. No hate to
Yeah,
Bill
but
Shatner, but I mean, I liked Jeffrey Hunter a lot, and this episode makes the cage even better and made me like Pike even more, and just fueled my curiosity. So, now I want to know who this guy is.
right. And so, I mean, no disrespect to uh, Antimount or to what's his name? I keep forgetting his name. The other guy that played Pike. Anyway,
Bruce.
Oh, Bruce
Bruce
Greenwood? No.
Bruce Greenwood. Oh my gosh,
Oh my,
bad Trekker
my,
moments.
my memory is so bad.
Yes, it's Bruce
Anyway, no,
Greenwood. Bruce
Bruce
Greenwood.
Greenwood.
Yes,
No
yes.
disrespect to them, but you kind of want to see now more about how Jeffrey Hunter would have done, as Pike if he, just given him more of a chance other than just the one episode.
He was a more classically trained actor who would
Yes,
have fit into the theme of the original series, which was like we've talked about before, feels sometimes more like a stage production than it does television program or a TV show. It
right.
it feels like I'm going to a play, and I'm saying, again, the only thing we don't have to worry about is set changes. So there's no intermissions or anything like that,
Mhm.
because they just can cut the film and go right to the next scene. But yeah, that would be awesome. I mean, it's really kind of sad, and I don't want to bring it up, on the podcast, because Jeffrey Hunter died only a few years later,
Yeah,
from a freak accident while filming a movie with a window that was supposed to blow outward, but it blew in, and he got a concussion, and then
and
it wasn't went back home, and wasn't too long. He had a fall. He fell at home, and I think he had a skull fracture from that fall, and then that was it. And sad thing to talk
so
about on Father's
glad
Day,
you
but
didn't bring that up.
no,
So
no,
I know that you. It's like,
not on Father's Day. I wanted to honor his father.
yeah,
I didn't want to bring that up,
but I mean, I'm glad we got to do that today, and he got a chance to talk about his dad, and so it always helps.
Yeah,
And
and fitting that it fell on Father's Day.
yeah, absolutely.
It
To
seems like our shows just keep kind of falling into these
these
themes.
happy coincidences
Right, the Men's
that
Mental
match
Health
up in.
Month for the one episode, and
Mhm. Like these all happy coincidences that fall into the right timing.
we're just lucky, I guess. I don't know. But yeah,
It's,
that was super cool. Hopefully we'll be able to get some more guests. Um
yeah, absolutely,
e-
absolutely,
e-
yeah, yes.
Even like just people connected to it through people who were involved. But hopefully, for everyone listening, we'll be able to get you some more people to talk to. Chris was awesome today. Really,
Yeah,
if you want to go and get the recap of the cage, I don't really feel like we need to do the recap because it's all
um,
there on episode 1, available on
but
Spotify.
we got a nice little insider information about stuff that went behind the episode and stuff that just went behind the scenes and just Hollywood insider Star Trek secrets that no one knows, that only you could hear from the Rules of Nerdquisition.
Right. And I'm gonna fuel the fire just a little bit. Um, Adam Nimoy, if by chance you ever hear this podcast, and you would like to come on and defend your position between you and Chris Hunter over who was the original Trekker, we'll give you a platform. But until then, we're by forfeit or by default, Chris wins.
Sorry, man.
Sorry, man.
Sorry. I mean, you're more than welcome. You can come on, defend it, and then we'll probably change our positions then. But
But
sorry, man.
we'll only have to give Chris the opportunity to come back and redefend his
So yeah,
position.
then it'll be a vicious cycle of you two defending your title.
And we'll
But you
just
can
sit.
you but we'll be more than happy to host each and every one of your defenses here
Well, we could host a
on
live
the
debate between the two of you.
we could do that too. We could that squash it all together and determine who is the very first Trekkie.
Absolutely. Other than that, I don't really have anything else for
Oh
today. You
wow.
got any additional thoughts or anything on today's show? Anything you'd like to add?
Beep, beep.
That
Two
would be a
beeps or no?
no. That would be a no.
No, I think we covered everything and beyond on this one. So yeah, I feel great about this one.
Yeah, this one was just super cool. And
And
I'm gonna
and
find
again,
that.
shout out to Chris for making time to come and sit down and talk to us nerds. And for everyone, please keep all your triples spayed and neutered. Take care, live long and prosper.
And join us next week. The next episode that we will be doing will be The Conscience of the King for episode 13, Lucky 13. And we'll see you all later. Thanks for stopping by and live long and prosper. There's my recording button.